Well, Gary, a 2-1 win against Slough this evening. How pleased were you with the players' performance to show grit and determination and still look for that third?
Yeah, really pleased. Look, it's a really big win, a good win against a good side who keep you honest for the full 90. That showed that we had to really dig in second half. Like I said, they're in good form. Won 3 on the spin, so we were 3 unbeaten as well. So not necessarily 2 informed teams, but certainly for the last 3 games. So it was a really good win, a much needed one, a big win at the time for sure. But I felt, I know you said about digging in and determination and making, doing their job second half in terms of defensively, but we should have killed the game off in the first half. We scored 2. Billy has another good chance before he scores his one. Chucks has a one-on-one down the side, maybe he should do a tiny bit better from. Another one where Tom Mayhew puts a cross into the box, Chucks gets the end of, just guides it over, so there's probably 4 there, and I think we probably have another one after that as well, so we have some good, we have 5 good chances. Luckily we scored 2 of them in the first half. Second half we had to dig in a little bit, as you said, down the slope and like I say, make it a little bit more difficult for ourselves on occasion, but we had another couple of good chances in the second half. I'm sure at 2-1 they probably feel aggrieved that they haven't got something out of it as well. So a good game of football and a really good win for us against a good team.
And then obviously Sol been a live wire recent weeks, obviously contributed to 2 more this evening, obviously winning the penalty and then setting up Billy Phillips for his first goal. How pleased have you been with him recently?
Yeah, he's been good. He's in fairness to Sol, look, he's shown great resilience this year in terms of his own sort of personal involvement with the team. He's been really patient. We've looked at what we think his key attributes are and probably at the same time had to ask him to adapt so that we could probably use what he's good at to help us and maybe what we had missing. We felt that we do feel that Sol's really good at carrying the ball up the pitch. We were obviously playing him in the top line and it wasn't, for whatever reason, not working out, but what we had been struggling with was getting the ball up the pitch from deep, being able to carry it individually, dribble with pace, and he does that really well, and he's come in, he's been someone who's embraced what we're asking him to do. Like I think I said before to you guys, it's not an uncommon one for us. We used Leon Gravata there last year a number of times, and because of the way we build it helps. But yeah, I thought, look, again, he's contributed today. He's won a penalty, and I think it's his ball in for the second goal for Billy as well. So yeah, look, we've been really pleased with him, and like I said, it's well done to him because, like I said, he's shown he's shown some staying power this season for sure.
And then obviously talking about Billy getting his goal, first one for the club. How pleased are you with him after a number of good performances? Yeah,
I thought he was fantastic again tonight. He's been really good in and out of possession. Certainly, he won't want to become known for his work out of possession, but I thought he was fantastic tonight. Worked really hard. Was aggressive in shutting down when he needed to be. So that was really good. But he's another one. He's a dribbler, and that's sort of given us a little bit of a different attacking option, without us having to not necessarily score the perfect goal, but we've got a lot of players who can link and combine and make short and tidy passes, and they're really good at it. But Billy's come in and just given us a slight difference. It was something we were looking for. We tried to get him for a couple of weeks, but luckily we were able to eventually get him and get him out, and I think he's been brilliant. Deserved his goal tonight. He's had a couple of other chances in games where he could have got off the mark quicker, but yeah, I thought he was fantastic. He was another good performance tonight amongst a couple of other really good performances as well.
And then obviously Seb made his debut as well. How pleased were you with him for his first 90?
Yeah, I thought he did well in a position which he's used to and comfortable with, but in a position that Slough make it really difficult for you. He was playing at wing back, and again, look, Slough are really good at feeding balls into those channels, and you have to, like I say, be really on your game. Like I said, they've got great pace and athleticism in wide areas, and they've got, as well as that athleticism, they've got decent physicality as well in size and height. And I felt he dealt with that. He's given us, or we hope he's going to give us, what we haven't had this year, which is out and out natural balance in with a forward thinking impetus on the left hand side. Obviously we've got Will King, who does a fantastic job for us. He did it tonight. He did a fantastic job for us out there, but he's a midfielder who we asked to do different things as a fullback. Let's not forget we got Freddie Grant as well, who would have been involved tonight, but he was unavailable tonight. He would have been involved coming back. So we've got some really good options there. Different options allows us to do and adapt and combat different things. But look, the question was about Seb. So yeah, I thought he did really, really well, particularly given that was his debut. He'd only had a week with us, and we worked on some really good stuff. But I think you can see when he sort of grew into the game, he was really aggressive in his attacking. And like I said, but for a couple of maybe not necessarily wayward balls and crosses into the box, we could have scored through his play as well. And
then obviously with this win, it makes it 4 unbeaten now. Do you feel things are now starting to click and go our way?
Maybe. Look, we've been quite pleased with performances all season. Really, results are clearly have been nowhere near where they need to be. The league table doesn't lie in that respect, but the amount of times we've come off, either the team, supporters, whoever has said, have we not got something out of that game at least? Or have we not won that game? I've said the same tonight, really. It could have gone the other way. We should have been 4-0 up, I think, at half time. So we know we need to still tighten up and get better at that, finishing games off. But yeah, look, ultimately, maybe we've felt we've been doing the right things consistently, continually in games. So maybe that's now, like you say, dropping for us. But we've worked hard. But look, there's so much hard work still left to do. A mini run of 4 games needs to be replicated. We need another 4 unbeaten on top of that. We need to, like I say, try and continue this as long as we can. We come 2 difficult games coming up as well. But again, look, we're as you can see from that and the run, we're fighting for every point, and that's a group in there that, like I say, are fighting for stuff and have probably deserved what they've got. Maybe some more over the last 4 games.
And then finally, big game on Saturday, as you just mentioned, 𝗣cie𝘀𝘁 at home. What do you feel needs to be done to keep this run going?
We need to win. So we need to score more than them and concede less. That's the reality. But yeah, look, we'll need to do what we did tonight. We'll need to stay concentrated for 90 minutes. They'll bring a different test to Slough tonight. Not saying an easier one by any means, or a more difficult one. They'll bring a really, really tough test. So yeah, look, we'll expect, like I say, another tough game, but we'll prepare properly for it. We'll see what bodies we can get back, because we've had some, like I say, unavailability tonight. Freddie was unavailable, Canis was injured, Ethan Vaughan, another one who was injured. So hopefully we'll have those back. It's like I said, we want everyone to pick from. So yeah, look, we'll look to go and keep that run going on Saturday.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.